Good evening, I'm Hugh Downs.
And I'm Barbara Walters, and this is 2020.
Welcome to 2020. Also, thumb pins. Seriously, happy 2020, y'all, and welcome back to CyphusSpace. Outlaw Lotus here. So you notice that there's been a bit of a branding change. So I told y'all there was going to be a branding change that was going to be happening. Obviously, the branding change happened. It's more Mandalorian focused, so things kind of unify a little bit more sensibly, and it kind of lets my characters Jarek, Cyphus, and Sigardan Khan go back to being characters again. Something in my future may explain more about why I did that later, but I think in the meantime, it's just kind of important to know that I need something that made more sense as a brand for me, that's a little bit easier for people to not only say, see, and swallow, but to go, okay, well that makes sense, that fits what he's trying to do, and the kind of vibe he gives off in his streams and the content he shares. Cool, let's rock the Outlaw Lotus, let's stick with that, let's get some consistency instead of a mouthful of Jarek Cyphus, aka Sigardan Khan. I get it. It was a mouthful, it was too much for some folks. Outlaw Lotus makes more sense, so let's just stick with that. But I know changing things up can be jarring for some folks, and hey, it is what it is, that's what I'm sticking with. There'll be more reasons for that, explained later. And no worries, I'm going to be freaking anybody out. I wrap my arm so that you guys don't freak out about my freaking pin sticking on my hand. But hey, you know what, that's okay. Let's just jump right into this, because there is a lot to talk about gaming-wise right here off the bat in 2020. Folks, this thing is going to be kicking our wallets in the nuts, or for you ladies, in the lady bits, in 2020, because holy shit, this release schedule is insane. And I don't want to get too deep in the weeds about the whole year, because, well, there's plenty of videos for me to make, and plenty of time to talk about stuff way down the line. And I'm going to link in the description below an article from GameSpot about the best upcoming games. You can read them at your leisure and see what in that list excites you. For me, there's a lot of stuff that's happening between now and March that I'm kind of stoked for and gives me a lot of streaming content. It also kind of gives me some stuff to maybe think about streaming now rather than waiting until the end of February when the Star Wars Galaxy's 4th anniversary happens. Star Wars Galaxy's Legends, that is. This month, Star Trek Online, that many of you have seen me stream on Twitch, is celebrating its 10th year anniversary. 10 freaking years. That actually caught me off guard. It had not occurred to me until I saw the message on the launcher that Star Trek Online was actually celebrating its 10th year anniversary. That's incredible. That is a milestone. I didn't initially, when Star Trek Online came out, as fun as it was, it had its bumps, and I was not sure with the landscape of the MMOs at the time. I was not sure if that was going to be a 10-year game. There's a lot of games that didn't make it that far. Star Wars Galaxy sure didn't. So the fact that STO has made it and is continuing strong, that's awesome. That means so many great things for the future, and with Card right around the corner and Discovery not far away, it's going to be a great year for Star Trek fans, especially if you're a gamer who likes to play Star Trek Online. Again, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, go for it. As I said before, next month is Star Wars Galaxy's Legends 4th year anniversary, which also means in June, the game Star Wars Galaxies itself as a whole project is 17 years old, folks. That's huge, okay? That a community 17 years old is still thriving to this day, and for me has been one of the best communities of my gaming history, my gaming life. That's freaking great, and that warms me to the core. I cannot wait until SWG can celebrate its 20th anniversary, because I'm telling you, that day will come, and that day is going to come with more than just a couple hundred people playing it. I guarantee it. We have thousands now. There's going to be thousands at year 20, because people who committed way back when are still committed now. that game's not going anywhere thanks to the community. As long as Disney understands that we do this as a labor of love, we don't get profit out of this. I have to say this constantly, I feel like. And it's no different than a fan film, you know? And the thing is, all that costs us is time. It's not costing us any money like a lot of film creators doing. There's some film folks who had to buy all kinds of stuff to do their fan films, which are amazing, by the way. So this is no cost to really anybody. And if anything, all it's doing is advertising the Star Wars brand. So SWG Legends is freaking great if you want a Star Wars sandbox that's not theme parkish like SWTOR. I'm not saying SWTOR is a bad game. SWTOR is just more story and linear driven than Star Wars Galaxies is. Star Wars Galaxies is kind of a create your own adventure kind of Star Wars gaming experience that I talked about in my Best of the Decade video. So, you know, it's something that's worth checking out if you haven't before. There are many, many ways on SWGLegends.com that you can find out how to play it for yourself. In February also, there's an Ori and the Will of the Wisps coming out. If you like the kind of like hand-drawn style sprite games that have been out lately, like Hollow Knight and games like that, the Ori series, because Ori and the Blind Forest was its predecessor. This series is cool, man. I mean, it's plays unlike anything else that's come before it. I encourage y'all, if you like that kind of 2D style platforming and action, to give those kinds of games a chance. You might really, really enjoy it. I do plan on streaming that if I have some time. If I can stream both games, that'd be even better. And then, of course, in March, we have Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh my freaking thank God, and Doom Eternal are finally coming out. Those two games are going to be keeping me so busy for streaming content for a while. You better believe it, that's going to be streamed to death. And, I mean, God, I cannot wait to stream that content. I'm over the moon over this shit, you know? So that's why I'm trying to get a lot of hot and heavy Star Wars Galaxies streaming done late February into early March, so that we can kind of like show off some of that content and some of the stuff that I'm working on the project as well. But that's it for gaming news. I mean, that's really all I want to cover right now, because there's so much more to cover, and there's many, many weeks ahead. Mill and Vet news, because it wouldn't be my channel without some Mill and Vet news, and that's what people requested on Twitter, as I do the Mill and Veteran news and the gaming news, so I'm going to stick with that platform. People requested it, that's what I'm going to do, and keep the in-real-life stuff to a minimum, as I did at the very beginning. So, for those who don't know, Jerry Holloman, he's a 69-year-old Vietnam veteran. He had a visit from a repo man in his from the nurse, at a nursing home in Virginia, and they took his prosthetic legs that he needed because he served his country and lost them in Vietnam. What the fuck? This following article comes from kprcradio.iheart.com. We're going to go over this article real quick because it just needs to be talked about quite a bit.
Who goes there?
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, as we like to say. How does something like this happen? So meet 69-year-old Jerry Holloman, a Vietnam vet who lost his legs because of his service to his country. Last year, just a couple of days before Christmas, a man walked into a nursing home in Collins, Virginia, took Jerry's prosthetic legs, and left. He wasn't technically a thief, he was a professional repo man. So as an 18-year-old, Jerry served in Vietnam, where he was exposed to Agent Orange, a dangerous chemical that caused many of our nation's veterans to suffer from cancer and diabetes. Years later, this exposure to Agent Orange was primarily the source of his health issues. So what happened? Why did Repo Man take prosthetic legs away from a guy who served his country in the Army National Guard for over 40 years? Well, if you're searching for someone to blame, look no further than the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Hey, the VA. Brother Hal, if you're watching, you're probably already seething. Love you. They would not pay for his prosthetic legs. They told him he needed to fill out paperwork with Medicare, a process he described as a bureaucratic nightmare. Yes, I know this very, very well. I'm going through the VA process myself. I've been doing this since June, and it is a freaking red ass. Brother Hal and other veterans who watch my channel, I guarantee you can tell you the same shit. The VA is a freaking joke. I've been waiting on certain appointments since June that keep getting pushed off, and I have medical care out the wazoo that I need, that in the meantime I have to go out in town and take care of on my own, that it's very expensive for me to take care of. This is unacceptable to me. like he told the Clarion Ledger, Medicare did not send him to Vietnam. He was sent by his country with the understanding that if something happened to him, he would be covered by the VA. Our broken ass VA system has once again failed one of our heroes. This to me is beyond unacceptable. It's so reprehensible, it makes me sick to my stomach. Why are we continuing to fail our veterans and our military service members? Well, I feel like a broken record. We've talked about these stories in the past. The suicides from last year. The Army first lieutenant who had to go home before his mother was deported to Mexico. And now this. Folks, we are failing our military and we are failing our veterans, and that shit has to stop. You have a president right now, a GOP-backed president who alleges to love his military, to praise us as the most powerful military in the world, the most well-trained military in the world, with the best soldiers in the world. So why are they treated like scraps to be discarded? Because we're not scraps, we're fucking people. Fix this. Now. This is why people vote the other way. Hope you're paying attention to that, GOP. So, away from the negative, let's talk about some streaming news. So I'm planning on kicking off my official streaming schedule with the SWG Legends 4th anniversary at the end of February. But I'm going to try and get some STO streams in because it's the 10th anniversary. And I want to get some Ori streams in next month, depending on how finances are looking and if I can buy 2 games. Because I probably going to get them for PC because, hello, it's easier to play games with a mouse and keyboard than it is with a joystick or a controller right now. I do get the pins out on the 23rd, so we'll see if that helps me a little bit. But I'm not going to be able to bend and flex my thumb as fully as I want to for a while yet. So that's going to take some time. Ideally, though, things should be looking better by the time Final Fantasy VII's Remake comes out, which that'll be a controller-based game for me in March. Doom, I'll be able to PC that one just like I did with the first Doom from 2016. So I'm freaking excited, y'all. This is going to be a great year for gaming, a great year for streaming. I kind of got my motivation and my energy back. We're gonna see what happens. I'm just trying to keep my head up. We averted war. 2020's kept me alive so far. Australia might be on fire, which, by the way, if y'all can pledge some support to Australia, I know they would appreciate it, and I would too, because we need to take care of our friends down under, as well as the animals. So while we're plugging that, please help them if you can. Help them before you help me on my channel. I know I ask for help a lot on my Patreon and donations and all that stuff, but help those who actually really, really need the help right now. All right. With that, that's all I got, okay? So, thanks a lot. I hope you like the new rebranding. Hope you like the new format. It's not really much of a new format. I've just reduced the IRL talk a little bit to kind of focus more on the gaming and veteran news. So, if you like that, please comment below. Let me know what you like. Like the video. Drop me a sub. Support me on Patreon if you can. Tune in to twitch.tv/OutlawLotus. I changed it. It's not Jarek Cyphus anymore, so it's /OutlawLotus. And I'll see y'all next time. Outlaw Lotus, signing out. Happy 2020.